And the United States strongly supports the ASEAN outlook and the Indo-Pacific on the Indo-Pacific and the rules-based regional order.
This is sending out a clear message to China that the focus that US has placed on the country to counter it remains firm. ASEAN is a grouping of 10 nations from the Southeast Asian region. These 10 nations have largely been at the receiving end of China's bullying. And America constantly points out that any grouping or any alliance that is set to counter China has an ASEAN centrality. That means it will keep these 10 nations in focus.
I want you to know I am truly looking forward to working with you to advance not only our many shared interests, but our shared values and shared vision for a region where every country can compete and succeed on a level playing field. And all nations, no matter how big or powerful, abide by the law.
Now, the ASEAN came about in 1967. The 5 founding members included countries like Philippines and Malaysia and Thailand as well, and later on 5 more countries were added to it. This time around, though, one of the countries which is part of ASEAN, Myanmar, is not participating. That is largely because of the coup conducted there. And this is really the first time that this sort of expulsion is being seen in the ASEAN. We have seen China being very aggressive in the maritime domain, claiming sovereignty over the territorial waters of many of these countries, as well as their exclusive economic zones as well. In fact, let me quote 2 examples to you here. For instance, this year itself, we have seen a friction between China and Malaysia, wherein some of the Chinese planes were seen close to the Malaysian borders. And in 2016, you'd remember how the Philippines fought a case with China as far as the South China Sea is concerned. They took it up in UNCLOS, that is the UN Convention on Seas. Now, even though the UNCLOS gave a verdict in favor of the Philippines, China refused to abide by it. That has been the kind of aggressive attitude of China towards these smaller countries. Meanwhile, of late, because these ASEAN countries have shown a leaning towards Washington and New Delhi to be able to get out of the bullying of China, China has used other means to trap them. For instance, China talks about economic and trade cooperation with these countries with a view to lure them and placate them and let them forget the bullying that China has been doing in the maritime domain. But is it only the strategic placement that is of importance to these larger countries trying to counter China? That's also a point that the ASEAN countries constantly raise, because they are looking for more economic cooperation, which at the moment China is willing to offer.